So to check that we are on the same page, remember peak. The amount of coins I have is 11,831. So let me go and show you here. Peak. I have 11,831 peak at £245.15 at the moment. 245.15. So let me write this down. 245.15. Right, so we have to find out the current price, market cap, and stuff like that. But let me first go through what I have and why I have it and why I wrote down these things here. Okay, so Peak is a token that is based on the robotics industry. XRP is in the finance industry. React automation, we'll go through that on another video. SEBEC token is about payroll and finance. Crow token, I don't actually remember why I have this token. Well, I know why I have it. Because I needed a certain amount of Crow tokens to get certain privileges on the coin. What's it? On the, I forgot what it's called. On the crypto.com app. Bitenzor is an AI industry coin. And one reason why I chose all these cryptos are because they're not just cryptos, they're all based on some kind of business, okay? There's something behind the reason for these tokens. Because there are certain cryptos that have nothing behind them, no reason for their existence, but people buy them because people seem to create some kind of craze behind them. But there is no value behind them in reality. Each of these coins that I've chosen to buy have a reason. And why I have written down these little headings here is to make sure that in the future, I can always look back and remember the reason I bought these tokens. Because sometimes you buy something and let's say a month goes by or 2 months and then you want to sell the coin for something else maybe, or you don't remember why you bought the coin. So the way I think is that I bought this for a reason, and if I stand by the reason, if it convinced me yesterday, sorry, I'm speaking too fast. If this convinced me yesterday, they should still be true today. But of course, you can always check up on the progress of each of these coins because they're all behind a business. So the business should have some kind of updates now and again. Okay, so where were we? Nosana is for GPU to give people storage space. All these AI industries happening, all this data happening, these people do like decentralized storage space. Canton network is something that's going to be the infrastructure of the new system coming in. XLM is also finance, similar to XRP, similar but not the same. Spark is a lending protocol, I believe. Redstone is an exchange, I believe. Quant is an overledger that will connect all these coins together. All of them will be able to speak to each other through the Quant network. And Dia is an oracle, which is a baby compared to Chainlink, but the reason I invested in Dia is because it's a baby, which means it can grow. So with that in mind, that's the reason I have bought these ones. I have done some investigations, research into each of these, so I know a bit about them, so I know why I have bought them, which will encourage me to hold them and wait for them to go up in value. So these are the questions you need to understand. The total supply of each token. So how do we do that? We go to a website. One is called coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com. You can go to the search bar. Where is the search bar? And I write in peak. Peak. And then you see peak. It tells you here market cap is $70.2 million. So let me put in here 70.2 million. 70.2 million. And that's in dollars. And the price is, I should put it in, it's going to be some kind of confusion because I'm doing my money, which is in pounds, UK pounds. I'm going to put the price in dollars. In my next video, I will do something about that. So right now, the market cap, the price is $0.03. $0.03. So I'm going slow. $0.03. The total supply is, I don't know, so I'll click on it. Right, so peak total supply. Maximum supply is 5.66 billion. 5.66 billion. 5.66 billion. And is it fixed or infinite? Fixed or infinite? It says maximum supply, which means it's fixed. It cannot get bigger. Okay? 5.66 is the maximum supply. So fixed. Okay, it's going to take a long time, a long video for me to do each one of these. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the rest of them before my next video. But let me now explain what's happening here. So let's start with Bitcoin. We all have heard of Bitcoin, which has the total supply of 21 million, which means there can never be any more than 21 million, which means if you put money in here, it cannot be inflated away. It has a value because there's scarcity. The monies in your countries can be printed, which means every time you have money, it loses value. You lose value because the government can steal money from you by printing money, making more of it, making it less scarce. When you have something that cannot be printed, it has value in itself. That one fact makes it valuable. Because there can't be any more than 21 million, it's fixed. It's not infinite. The dollar, the US dollar, the pound, everything here is infinite. We are fixed. The market cap, this is the most important thing. How much money is inside the coin? And Bitcoin has 1.5 trillion value inside it. So when you buy some Bitcoin, you're buying a percentage of this figure. That's very important as well. And you'll see why shortly. And the current price of Bitcoin is, let's see, I go to coin market cap. Just go to the actual homepage. Bitcoin is now, how much are you, Bitcoin? Where are you, Bitcoin? What's happening? Sorry, 1 second. What has happened? I'm not going to, it's 77,000. 77,000. So you put that down. 77,000. Okay, so why am I investing in this peak and not Bitcoin? And yes, I'm not investing in Bitcoin. My number one reason is that Bitcoin, for me, is for rich people. People with a lot of money can benefit from Bitcoin. People with no money, like myself, will not benefit from Bitcoin. Let's see why I say that. Let's say Bitcoin has a market cap of 1 trillion, which means there's $1 trillion inside Bitcoin. That means that 21 million, because only 21 million Bitcoins in the world that could ever be, equals $1 trillion. All right, so if I put money into Bitcoin, for me to double my money, then Bitcoin will have to have 2 trillion inside it. For me to double my money, this means 21 million Bitcoins must equal 2 trillion. Right. Now, this is a lot of money. To get from 1 trillion to 2 trillion is a big amount of money and will take some time to achieve. But I also have one called React Network. Now, React Network, I have 16,146 coins. Let's see what the situation is with React. So I put React Network, market cap 7.3 million. 7.3 million. Let me add that. 7.3 million. And it's about was it 1 cent? It's about 1 cent at the moment. It's 1 cent. Which is not really important. This is what's important. It's 7.3 million. If you see, the market cap of Bitcoin is 1.5 trillion. The market cap of Peak is 70.2 million. Much more. It's 10 times more than React. 7.3 million. Peak is 10 times more. Okay, so let's look at a difference. So let's say I'll put React coin equals, I'll put 7 million. $7 million. So there's 500 million React tokens. Yeah. There's 21 million Bitcoins. There's 500 million React coins. Right. So 500 million React coins at the moment equals 7 million in market cap. For me to double my money, that means 500 million React coins must now equal 14 million. Okay? So my point is, it's easier to make money for a poor person to invest in React coin because it is 7 million inside compared to Bitcoin, which is 1 trillion inside. Because my point is, it is far easier to get from 7 million to 14 million and double my money instead of 1 trillion to 2 trillion. How many companies, how many people must put money into Bitcoin for me to double my money? It does not make sense to me unless I was rich already. And I have done one more explanation to show you what I mean. Let's go back to this. I'll put on a slideshow. All right, so Bitcoin, market cap 1.5 trillion. So for this money, this Bitcoin, oh, come on. This is the strength of Bitcoin right now. For Bitcoin to double, it has to get to 3 trillion. Yeah, 1.5 trillion must go into this for you to, so to make it straight. If I put $100 into Bitcoin, Bitcoin had to grow to 3 trillion market cap for my $100 to become $200. And that is not worth my time, to be honest. But if I put $100 into React Network and it gets to 8 million, I make $200. And remember, peak token was 70. I'm talking too much now. I'm going to close this video. But I'm just saying, look at peak, 70 million. I think this can get to this easier than Bitcoin gets to 1 trillion. And just to make it clear before I close this first video, this is my first video, by the way. It's not edited, I apologize. But just to close, and I will continue and have all this filled up before my next video. For this, if this coin, React, gets to this market cap, then £100 or $100 investment in React would equal $1,000. And also, before I close, let me just show you what has happened so far in this journey. So I'll go back finally to show you. So I bought Peak, I bought XRP, I bought React, I bought all this stuff. Can you see the prices? Peak, £245. Okay. Now it has grown. I remember, sorry, this is very important. I'm not buying any more coins. So this is the same amount of coins, 11,831 coins for £245. So look at this, £245, the same amount of tokens became £308. This happened like in a day. So 11,831 peak tokens was £245, became £308. Sebek, how much was Sebek? Sebek was £110, and it's still, no, it went up to £113. It went up. Okay, and then this is the latest I've taken. And it shows that peak was how much? £110, £108. And then it became £136, 61. So far, that has grown. And also, remember when I first put everything in, it did grow. So when we first saw the video, it was 1,297. They became 1,372. They became 1,397. Don't get me wrong, guys. This can equally go down, okay? But on this journey, we will see what happens. I'm positive that probably in my next video, this figure will be less. But we will see. Anyway, thank you for this time. This is my first video. I'm sure I will improve it. I just want to get this started as soon as possible to get myself in this game. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching.